I want you to keep your job and to have it here for working. Welcome to Legends of Gotham, where we talk about Fox's hit series Gotham set in the world of Batman. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
How you doing, Anne-Marie?
I'm good. Hey, I was just about to say, can you take that down so people can see us?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi, people who are watching us on video. Yeah, we do have costumes because it is Halloween week.
It's Halloween week, yay!
So we thought costumes would be appropriate. I am dressed in my
Harvey Bullock costume.
Harvey Bullock costume from the fan trailer over the summer, or John Constantine, depending, I guess.
I'm a generic gypsy, but I like to call her Lydia the gypsy.
You should, for the people watching on camera, you should get out from behind the puffy ball on the mic.
Do this. Okay,
yeah,
hold on.
Back up, stand up a little bit. Just show them the gypsy.
Lots of
the gypsy costumes and everything. I actually first met you when you were playing a gypsy in a play.
Yes,
so
that's what I was just trying to say, and then you made me move my mic and get up and get out of frame.
Sorry about that. But you put such a great effort into your costume. I was like,
especially because I wanted to wear pajamas, and you made me put a costume. You're like, go put on a costume. I'm like, fine.
But
take that.
This will be a very spooky Legends of Gotham.
Is the spookiness.
I guess we should go ahead and get started talking about the spooky episode this week.
This was spooky.
Why don't you go ahead and throw some riddles our way, and then we'll get started talking.
Who would conspire to kill these rich kids? The goat has the answer, but he stays off the grid. If Bullock's a cynic, what made him that way? His old partner failing, then falling away. Sorry. Is Nygma bored? Well, he's downstairs filing. Is Kris Kringle's manner uptight or beguiling? Will Jess fess up about Jim? I wondered. I was like, who's Jess? Sorry. Will Jim fess up about the penguin who floats? Chaos ensues in spirit of the goat.
Spirit of the goat.
Spirit of the goat.
The goat talks like this.
The goat does talk like this.
You know what?
No, we don't.
The goat, actually, it was directed by our good friend of the podcast.
Yay!
TJ Scott, and he went ahead, and we mentioned this a couple weeks ago in his episode Arkham. He went ahead and sent us in a voicemail to give us a little bit more insight into the episode. So why don't you go ahead, TJ, and we'll let you play your voicemail here.
Take it away, TJ.
Okay, for people watching the live video,
we don't have the voicemail yet.
TJ had professional duties to attend to today, so we don't have the voicemail yet. We'll have it probably just a little bit after we wrap up with the podcast. So we'll insert it into the final podcast. If you're watching the video, just go about 5 minutes into the regular podcast. It should be good. Here, Anne-Marie, let's clap so I can find this when editing, okay?
Bravo, TJ, bravo, yay!
Thank you, TJ, very much. That was a very insightful voicemail. We always love hearing from you, and I'm sure you'll be back, and so we'll definitely want to hear from you again next time you have an episode of Gotham up.
Or if you just want to talk Gotham with us, we're cool with that.
Oh, definitely. Not even Gotham. If you want to talk Once Upon a Time with us.
Does he do Once Upon a Time?
No, not at all.
I didn't think so.
He does do Orphan Black, which was pretty good.
Things I've never watched.com.
You should watch it. Okay, Anne-Marie, what did you think of the episode overall?
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. I liked kind of seeing Harvey's origins a bit, from when he was a white knight and all.
Yeah.
But still with the same energy. Well, I guess energy is not really the right word, but like gruff, maybe. It was the same Harvey, but not the same Harvey.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. What about you?
Yeah, oh yeah, I definitely loved it. I thought it was a very Halloween appropriate episode.
Well, yeah.
And it fit like a lot of the imagery and stuff, especially with what the goat did to his victims.
Yeah.
It very much reminded me of some of those more like gothic sort of supernatural horror movies from the late 90s, like Stigmata and things like that. With kind of like a Catholic feel to the imagery too, which I thought was really cool and very moody and very spooky. But it was a lot of fun. But like you were saying, the big focus of the episode, and I would say for the first time, the main character of the episode was Harvey Bullock. Like this was his episode from beginning to end. I mean, yeah, we got a little bit with Jim and Barbara in their situation, which we'll talk about in a bit. I saw you had some notes on, but it was Harvey's episode from beginning to end. Not only do we get the backstory, but every major action in this episode, is led by Harvey, which I thought was very interesting. And a lot of times it felt like Jim Jim Gordon's just like standing in the background trying to get ahead or like kind of reassert himself over the storyline, since he's technically the main character of the show.
Right. But I mean, it all ended up having to do with Jim.
Yeah.
In the end, it was all gonna, involve him.
Oh yeah, when it came to a head, it was all all about Jim. But even Harvey even investigated and solved the crime. You know how you've been pointing out every week that that Harvey saves Jim every episode?
Yep.
Jim saves Harvey this episode.
I'll delete that from my points later on.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you had that in your points later.
That was exactly almost verbatim.
But it was something I noticed just because you've been talking about it so much.
Well, because it's been so prominent that in every episode, even though he's mad at him and hates him and is angry, blah, 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 he doesn't really hate him because he saves his life every time.
Oh, yeah.
And this week it was the opposite. So that was cool.
Yeah, and like I said, kind of inverse too, because Harvey's the one who solved the mystery, and they kind of swap places for the episode, which was cool. Yeah, and I also really love the flashback with Harvey too, and his whole relationship with his old partner Dix.
Yes,
Dix.
So,
how do you spell Dix?
I'm thinking it's Dix.
We'll go with that instead of what I had.
Yes.
But no, I thought it was interesting because the flashback version of Dix was basically he was kind of note for note how we see Harvey now,
Right.
And it was I also thought I enjoyed the line, especially considering the irony in a few years that Gotham's golden rule is no heroes.
Yes.
Did you like Dix? Did you have any thoughts on him?
I loved him. I'm actually trying to look up who the actor is real quick.
Yeah, because he looked like he's
so familiar.
He looked very familiar. Like I thought he might have been on like Law and Order or something like that. See, now I'm gonna try and find it too.
Is that him? No, that's not him. That's not him. Sorry. So scrolling.
We're both.
Oh, I was right. It is Dix. Dan Hedaya.
What
were you in right now? Mulholland Drive, Addams Family, Commando, Usual Suspects.
Yeah, I know.
Mindy Project, Regular.
It must have been the Mindy Project. No, I don't watch the Mindy Project.
Daniel. ER, that's probably how I know him. Yes, Dear, probably also how I know him. Strangers with Candy.
Oh, Yes, Dear. Strangers with Candy.
He was only on one episode with Strangers with Candy.
Yeah, but I can picture him. I think he played the dad.
Judging Amy, the TV series.
Yeah, but he was really good.
He was really
good. I enjoyed him. And
Original Law and Order.
There
we go.
There it is. Yeah, but
First Wives Club. Sorry, getting off of that website now.
This actor has been in so many things,
and we just
including Gotham.
So
let's talk about Gotham.
Yes.
No, but one of the things with that whole event, I thought it was interesting to kind of show the moment where Harvey became that lackadaisical cynic that Jim accuses him of being in the first episode.
Right.
But it kind of got me thinking a little bit because. They want to go back and show this flashback unless it was going to give us context for something that happened later, right? And not just, the mystery of this episode.
Right.
So I was thinking it's probably foreshadowing that, his partner getting hurt because he jumped in trying to be the hero is going to be foreshadowing for an event coming up. Either that we're going to see that Harvey isn't that lackadaisical, cynical person, and he's playing a game just as much as Jim is, and Jim's game with the whole penguin fake killing screwed up Harvey's game. Yeah, that's one direction they could go. And the other direction I thought they could go is they could do a nice 2 or 3 or 4 episode arc with Jim where he becomes that kind of lackadaisical cynic because something happens to Harvey. Or something happens with his relationship to Harvey.
Yeah, that's definitely happening.
I mean, there's definitely going to be something there in the next episode, if nothing else.
Yeah,
for sure. But overall, very much just loved the focus on Harvey this episode. Much needed, much appreciated.
It was, I mean, he's such a good actor too. It's really nice to see him get to shine a little and not just be smarmy talking to Moody and da.
And he had so many good one-liners this episode too, like Holy Ghost on a bicycle. I wrote a bunch of them down, but maybe if we yell out some points at the end, I'll get to those.
Okay.
You wanted to talk a little bit about the
I'd like to
villain
talk
of the
about the
piece.
goat. The goat villain who encompasses many a body. Where does she doesn't say it. Where does Dr. Marks get the goat? Is it I mean, I guess it was kind of implied that it was like a old 18th century murdering villain thing, right? Was that sort of implied? Did you catch that?
There was definitely a larger conspiracy above Dr. Marks implied, because I mean she seemed kind of young too. She doesn't seem like she would necessarily be there 10 years ago.
That was actually
Melky.
my big thing. I was like, but he says, she's been practicing for 12 years. So she had just
so it was just the line.
Yeah, there was a line saying it.
I missed that one.
You missed that one. It's okay. But it just seems weird that she picked the goat. Like, I don't know. There's so many different mythological ways that she could have gone with it, and she went for a goat with the crazy mask with horns.
Well, I'm kind of curious about that too, just because I'm assuming that, and we mentioned it a couple episodes ago, the Court of Owls, which you can Google that if you're not familiar with it from the Batman comics. I'm assuming is operational in Gotham, and this whole goat thing with the animal totem and the carrying generation to generation and all that kind of stuff. One, obviously, that Batman. That calls to mind Batman a lot,
right?
But it also calls to mind Court of Owls. So I'm wondering why they decide to use the goat. Now, Dr. Marks, evil psychologist, trying to
evil psychologist to the rich and poor,
but affects society and everything. There's a couple characters in Batman who this kind of calls to. One's Dr. Hugo Strange, who's basically, this is the kind of thing he does.
Okay.
Kind of hypnotizing people, manipulating them, causing them to commit crimes, help him commit crimes, stuff like that. And then the other one is Dr. Harleen Quinzel, also known as Harley Quinn,
right?
Who's kind of the reverse of what we saw in this episode, where her patient manipulated her into becoming a criminal,
right?
Versus the psychologist manipulating the patient.
Interesting.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Definitely, very, very effective as far as like intimidation and stuff like that. Was completely super creepy.
And it was just another thing was, why did she wait 10 years to pick a new goat? And why did she sort of pick two goats? Well, the second time around,
it kind of leads me to wonder, like, maybe what was going on in Gotham City
10
years ago. Because she mentioned, I mean, this is a big ideological thing. Yeah, it's eat the rich, and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if maybe there was some sort of watershed moment, like the killing of the Waynes.
Right. Well, I couldn't hear what they said on the TV in the very beginning. It said something about the Waynes before goat number one takes that victim.
Oh, like in the flashback?
Yeah, in the flashback, the TV said something about the Waynes, but I didn't catch exactly what it was.
Interesting.
So
yeah, if anyone caught that,
please share with the group.
Yeah, write in legendsofgotham@gmail.com. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Or hop in the chat. Let us know what's going on. But it seemed like, did she just like hope the town would forget about the goat thing and the rich and all that? Why does the goat only attack female firstborns? Is that an overpowering thing? Something like that? Because Alfred seemed really worried about Master Wayne when Master Wayne's like, yeah, not going anywhere.
Well, I mean, the only victims we saw
were women.
But I don't think that necessarily excludes potential male victims or whatever. Like, although I mean, with kind of like the imagery and the iconography and kind of like the methodology that the goat's working with, it probably needs to be a woman because it's weird and creepy.
It's all weird and creepy.
Yeah.
Do you think it had anything to do with Bullock?
The goat thing, like
the goat thing coming back, the coming back because Bullock's the one who dealt with it last time, and she even says that she completely underestimated him and he was much smarter than she thought.
Yeah.
So he's been in the news and everything with being involved with all the craziness that's been going on. Maybe she wanted to take that opportunity to mess with them.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that, and it could also be something where maybe Bullock and his association with Jim has been casting him in a bad light in the eyes of like Falcone,
Mhm.
Fish Mooney, stuff like that. So maybe if they're behind this somehow,
Mhm.
maybe that's why it's
Right.
kind of just to mess with his head. Or maybe there might be an opposite number to them who's behind this, and they wanted to get Bullock involved because they know he's connected enough to help bring the
Interesting.
others down. There's a couple different ways.
There's different ways. One last thing, sort of going with all the goat and Dr. Marks and all that good stuff. So we saw Mr. Hastings basically the trigger of, the Golden Temple is open. Now kill this
Mhm.
man. But what do you think Milky and Earl's triggers were? Because we see Earl in the police station. It was just like a noise set him off.
Yeah, well, I think because when we see, I forget what the older gentleman's name was, but when we see him doing the hand clenching thing,
Mr. Hastings?
it's like, and she says it's for stress, for extreme stress, and I'm guessing after they tore the goat guy down.
No, it wasn't extreme stress. Sorry, not to just be like,
Yeah.
no.
Mhm.
It was when they're fighting an urge,
Yeah.
which isn't necessarily stress, because that was him fighting, turning into the goat, was the
Yeah.
way I interpreted it.
What I definitely like, I think that the whole clenchy thing and stress is stage 1, but then as it goes on, as they tear down the person to build them back up into the goat, that's when it gets like you were saying. But when we see that guy doing the clenchy thing, it's because he's stressed out, and that's where they started with in stage 1, or at least that's how I interpreted it.
Okay.
It actually, I didn't catch it until my second time through the episode, what exactly was going on there and how Bullock realized
Oh, really?
yeah, who it was and everything in that scene. Like, because I think I might have looked away from the TV for a second.
Well, that's
and
where you went wrong.
the thing is, the past couple weeks I've been watching around the same time that the West Coast goes live, so I've been kind of watching the live tweets a little bit too.
Nice.
Which happens.
It does happen.
Okay, now there was a very interesting character that showed up in this episode that I'm pretty excited about, and that's Kris Kringle.
Love it.
For one, just the name is amazing, and for two, I think she's going to be a very, very important character, not just in the show, but specifically with Ed Nygma.
Absolutely.
Like she almost for one, she seems like she's hiding something. She definitely seems like she's hiding something, and the reason she didn't want him down there, she was trying to play it off like she just didn't want to be bothered, like she was happy down there all by herself. I have a feeling she was hiding something. She didn't want him down there like nosing around or getting in her way. And I also noticed a couple times she kept trying to turn it back around on him when he was like trying to be like, no, I was trying to be helpful, and she's like, no, it's your fault. And it just felt like she was hiding something.
She's definitely hiding something, and this is gonna sound absolutely horrible and the most like one of the anti-feminist things that I could possibly say, but deal with it. It's Hollywood. She's way too pretty to be that nerdy for that to be her thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, most people who actually dress like that don't do the fancy makeups and all that. She's too pretty.
Well, it is TV.
It's TV. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I'm like, this feels so wrong to say.
She's TV nerdy.
She's TV nerdy, but she's even too pretty for TV nerdy. Is that fair?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, I'm gonna get hate mail. I don't want hate mail.
Nobody sent hate mail.
Please don't send me hate mail. I'm nerdy and no, I'm not pretty. But anyway.
No, but I definitely think as soon as I heard the name, I was like, this person's going to be very important. And, a few weeks here, I'm sure there's going to be some Christmas themed episode.
Oh, there absolutely
and a Kris Kringle would be a real good way to go with that. Now, I had a few ideas about how they might go with this. Obviously, it's probably going to lean towards being a love interest.
Yeah.
For sure, especially with even that quote I had up at the beginning of the top of the episode from that scene. And definitely a love interest. I would assume either Edward will be spurned by her or manipulated by her with the promise of like a relationship.
He's already been spurned.
He has, but I mean, like, seriously spurned. I also kind of get the feeling that he's doing something behind the scenes, and he's like putting question marks on his coffee mug to like leave hints for the cops, and they're not picking up on them. I have a feeling I have a feeling like we're going to be able to stitch all the all the Edward Nygma scenes together. Like
Nice.
once the big reveal happens and see that he was leaving clues all along.
Which would make sense.
Definitely.
Yeah, because he had such a bigger presence in this episode.
Yeah.
And everybody was just like, shut up and just tell me what I need to know. Just shut up. Or hold on, wait. Hold on. I don't want to mess up. My God, the riddles. I loved that.
Yeah, but I definitely think Kristen is she's either going to lead him down the path of damnation or push him down the path of damnation. And I also think, considering the holiday theme name, there's a Batman villain. I believe his first appearance was in a very famous Batman book called The Long Halloween by the name of Calendar Man. And he's themed, with holidays. Like every month has a major holiday, and so he commits a crime on every major holiday. And so Kris Kringle might be involved with the Christmas one,
right?
And that's a wild out there kind of thing. I think it's more likely that her storyline is going to be completely tied in with Edward's from here on out.
Yeah, basically.
I really enjoyed it though, and I can't wait to see where that goes.
Going over to the chat real quick, Bobby did some great research for us.
Oh, thank you,
That
Bobby.
Gotham's name is derived from the Old English gat, meaning goat, and ham, meaning home. So Gotham literally means homestead where goats are kept. So that's
Spirit
how
of
she
the
picked the goat.
Nice. I like that.
So that's fantastic. He goes on with a lot more and some links. If you're interested, go to the chat for this thing.
Oh yeah, he did put a lot of stuff
there's a ton in there because our listeners do our research for us.
Thank you, listeners.
Thank you, listeners. We love you.
Here, I'll go ahead. You want to go ahead and you wanted to talk a little bit about Barbara and Jim. You do that. I'll go ahead and add that to the
doc,
to the show notes at legendsofgotham.com.
Nice. Okay, so Barbara and Jim, I really enjoyed the fact that they were talking and actually like forgiving each other a bit, kind of working towards it, negotiating terms. Because we knew they were going to end up actually together, but just because of history. But I love them together. I love their interaction. You hate it, don't you?
Well, like I'm a little bit. It's weird because if Barbara's being completely upfront, then she's putting them both in danger with a lot of her decisions, which is frustrating. And if she's not, then that's awesome, and she's going to be a great character down the line once that finally comes out, whatever it is she's
doing.
Hiding. Like, but if she's being sincere, it just I don't know, I'm just not very impressed with it, and it seems like she's making a lot of dangerous decisions for no good reason. Like, especially when Jim, not only Jim but Montoya are both telling her you need to trust that we know what we're doing with the situation.
We're trying to keep you alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, and she ignores them. Yeah, but I mean, you can kind of see where she's coming from. She's trying to help them and save them and do all that sort of stuff. She's trying to be the doting girlfriend.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you definitely can't blame her for it, but at the same time, it's frustrating.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. It would be very frustrating to be in that sort of thing. But at least they're talking, and he was like, oh, I'm going to tell you everything I can. But why did she go to Montoya after he's like, I'm going to tell you everything? That's where we went wrong. But she cares enough about her to warn her about the arrest and tell her more about the murder. We've got a witness and all that, and get out of Gotham. And she's like, no, I'm going to stand with him. And she's like, why? But why? So there's that. I don't know. I enjoy them.
Yeah, I do too. I just I don't know. I have a feeling either she's going to turn out to be working with or for somebody somewhere along the way, or involved in something she shouldn't be, or she's going to end up being like a piece of leverage against Jim that gets pushed over the cliff or something,
Yeah.
And especially considering there's a bit of that history in the comics. Okay, let's see here. Before we go on and talk a little bit more about the episode, I guess we should go ahead and look at this Joker.
Hey, look at this Joker.
Look at this Joker.
There wasn't really a Joker.
But there
We
is
have
a
a
segment.
segment.
So we got to look at this Joker.
Joker.
Look at this Joker. Yeah. Okay, like we said, there really wasn't much of a Joker candidate this
We got
week.
nothing.
But even though I think this week's episode kind of disproves it, there was a big theory
Huge
circulating around everywhere this week. So we went ahead and put it down here under miscellaneous theories.
It's a horrible picture of him.
I know, but it was one I could find as
heinous.
smiling. The wild card suspect is Oswald Cobblepot for the Joker. Yes. And a Redditor came up with an interesting theory that made it appear like Oswald was the Joker. Oswald's been offed or fake killed, so people think Oswald Cobblepot is dead. So they were saying that since he was dead anyway, that this guy, this thin guy with the pointy nose, who actually with Joker makeup on would look quite like the comic book Joker, is actually the Joker, and that some more rotund character will come along down the line and assume the identity of the Penguin.
Interesting.
Since Oswald comes in there at the end and has the big surprise in this episode, I definitely think
that was wrong.
Yeah, but it's an interesting theory, and if they went this direction, I probably would have been okay with it. Probably.
Yeah,
probably.
I could see that.
But join us next. Also, I want to point out that every week we have this page open all the time at legendsofgotham.com. Just click up at the top and look at this Joker, and you can add comments in there too if you see any clues or anything. We're going to keep that going forever
and ever
and ever
and ever
and ever
and ever,
years after Gotham's actually canceled. Okay. Something else. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So we also, how we have a couple, friends on the show basically at this point. So we've already heard from TJ. You may recall that we had a voicemail on one of our first episodes from Vicky, who plays Montoya. Well, between, you, me, and her PR people, we're going to be able to submit some questions for her to answer for us.
Yes.
So, anybody got a question for Vicky?
Yeah. If you have any questions for the actress who plays Renee Montoya, basically just email them to us at legendsofgotham@gmail.com. Tweet them to us at Legends of Gotham.
You were going to say GF.
Yeah, I was. Or post them on our Facebook at facebook.com/legendsofgotham. Now it's
quiet Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah, we would like some more.
I would love some more something
page
over there.
But right now it's Wednesday, October 29th at about 9 p.m. We'll give it probably till tomorrow night, the 30th at 9 p.m.
Yeah, 24 hours, ready, go.
Yeah, maybe an hour or two in there, but go ahead and send them over, and we're going to try and send them all over on Friday so we can have them to play on the episode next week.
I just went to our Facebook page. It's really pathetic.
Yeah. Come on,
guys.
Come talk with us on Facebook.
I know everybody's scared of the Facebooks and all, but
and one other thing before we get back into the main discussion, we have been doing all this month. We've been doing a review contest where you leave a review for us over on iTunes or on Stitcher Radio. We read it on the show, and you're entered to win this Gotham poster from San Diego Comic-Con.
Move your hand.
Yeah, I'm showing people on the camera here, but it has Oswald, Gordon, Bruce Wayne. It has all the characters in a big grid, and it's appropriate for hanging on your wall or taping around your arm so you can be like Gotham. And
I want to see somebody do that. Actually,
I do that. Definitely.
Can I do that?
You can definitely, because if you rip that one, we have another one upstairs. So.
Yeah, but then we don't have one.
But let's see here. We did get a couple more.
Gotham. I'm a gypsy with Gotham wrapped around my little hand.
Excellent. Okay, but we did get a couple this week. The first one is from Jason Cage, and Jason says, "Love the podcast. Keep hope for every episode." Which Hope was our.
Thank you, Jason.
Hope Molinax was our guest host last week, and yeah, we loved her too.
Right. She says thank you. She was unable to join us this evening, even in the chat, but thank you. We got another one from. Okay, go ahead. You try and pronounce that.
Beselric.
And since we probably butchered that, I apologize. He says, or she, I'm not sure. I love your show. Love you guys' enthusiasm. Love Gotham! Exclamation marks all around. Keep up the great work. Why, thank you.
Thank you, guys. And we're going to be accepting reviews for that contest through the end of October. And so next week.
So for 2 more days.
Yeah, pretty much. So
you have 2 days. Get on it.
And then next week, what we're going to do is we'll each pick our favorite review,
Mhm.
and then we'll flip a coin
Mhm.
and see who wins, and then we'll get your address and get it sent out to you and everything. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get back talking Spirit of the Goat. And now you were talking a little bit about Montoya and her dealing with Barbara earlier,
Yes.
but
I
have some problems with the MCU's investigation here. Or
I do too. I think everyone does.
I think they are going to have some problems with their own investigation,
right,
as we move on. It really seems like they're setting themselves up for failure, even if the Penguin was actually dead, which he's not. First of all, what's that?
Wynn just posted on the Facebook. Hate Facebook, love your podcast, smiley face.
Thank you, Wynn.
Thank you, Wynn.
But the first kind of weak thing is the witness that they talked to at the beginning of this episode, which I loved. I love that.
Yeah.
Another great character actor.
Little bit character.
But what you call it, he seems kind of shaky, like less than trustworthy. And for that to be the last piece of evidence you need to get the warrant, like that's probably going to come back and bite you somewhere along the way. He might even be a trusted informant, but it seems like that would...
He didn't look trusted because they said, we're not here to shake you down.
Yeah, and you got to think, this is no ordinary case. This is you accusing a policeman in the most police friendly corrupt friendly city ever.
That's true.
Like, you're accusing a policeman of a crime, and all the cops are gonna they already started at the beginning of this, or at the end of this episode. All the cops started crowding around Jim. Don't touch Jim,
right? It's because he's the good
touch
guy,
one of our own,
the last good guy.
And not to mention that they didn't even have a body.
Yeah.
All they had was the Penguin's mother's word that he hadn't been seen for a while.
Which is horrible. Like, come on. You were just digging.
And to top it all off, like the biggest problem is that Renee Montoya has a provable personal vendetta against Jim Gordon because he's dating her ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, like she has nothing. She doesn't have a leg to stand on. So maybe if you have a question for Vicky regarding this entire situation, please.
Yes, legendsofgotham@gmail.com.
That's what I do.
But yeah, and it just it seems like they're going to, no matter how this shakes out, Montoya and Allen are going to be persona non grata in the department, and I'm sure Captain Essen's probably going to try and fire them or put them on desk duty for a while because of this. Because she's as corrupt as anyone else,
right?
And also, I don't understand necessarily why the MCU is doing internal affairs kind of stuff.
Right. Again, this is because she's having issues with the whole.
It's all the personal vendetta.
It's all the personal vendetta. It's all of that. And I mean, even her partner's not on her side.
Yeah.
He's like, seriously, they're going to take, you're not going to be able to do this after tomorrow.
I do like how he called her Monty, though.
Monty. I hated how he called her Monty.
I liked it. It's probably from Gotham Central. Probably, I would assume.
Oh, raise your hands if you haven't seen Gotham Central. Or read.
I don't. You know what? I read like 15 issues of it back in the day. I need to reread it though, for sure.
I don't have time anymore.
Speaking of things I don't have time for, I don't have time to watch that bath scene with Oswald and his mom.
So you just jumped over my point?
Oh, I did completely jump over.
I was like, well, let's do your point now that you've started it. No. I don't have time for that bath scene again either.
Okay, so let's not talk.
Because it was disgusting.
Let's go to your point. And then we'll come back to my point.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I love lots of hearts and happy butterflies. Bullock taking care of dicks.
Oh, with the arranging for the magazines.
He's paying for his housing. He's sending magazines. Those are dirty magazines. Is he getting them? Yes. The visit, he doesn't just come, every 6 months or so. He does come fairly regularly to visit him. And you could totally see Jim doing that for Bullock.
Oh yeah,
like the entire thing.
Although, did it seem to you like Jim was kind of making fun of dicks a little bit with the whole, like, you're talking about Harvey Bullock thing? Like, it seemed like he was doing
but he made it right back. He was like, yes, I'm talking about Harvey Bullock.
It seemed like he was doing his mouth like dicks was. Almost, it was fun.
It was probably an actor thing.
Yeah.
The two of them were like, back to him. Times, he's trying to be the White Knight. I'm sorry, Harvey Bullock is being the White Knight. What? So, what? Yeah. But there's that.
Mhm.
Now, and since we already discussed the fact that Jim saved Bullock in this episode instead of Bullock saving Jim,
Mhm.
let's go back to Oswald and his strange mommy issues.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay,
Because ill.
there's something going on over there, over at the Cobblepot place.
Yeah.
Like so many, like not just like the creepy bathtub scene, but just like so many things in the dialogue and just their interaction
Mhm.
that just screamed red flags of like a lifetime of abuse
Yes.
for Oswald Cobblepot here.
Yes.
One thing, well, obviously the bath. Then
Why is the bathtub in the middle of the room also? It's not even, it's like in the middle of the living room.
well, I think that's like an old-fashioned-y thing. Like they were more centrally located back in the day. Like
It's not back in the day. They have cell
but
phones.
it is New York City, or well, it is Gotham City, which would be as old as New York City, you know. So
I don't know about that one.
there's a lot of old infrastructure. But
there's a lot of old lace in her apartment.
But then his mom says you can trust no one but your mother, and that's like a very classic conditioning thing in situations of, you know, particularly familial abuse, to kind of, you know, keep the secret, and you can't trust anyone but me, you know, don't tell anybody.
Right. Well, I mean, and he's even like, I can trust this policeman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was just like,
I was like, you were like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, it very much not infantilized him, but you know, you can
made him a child.
Yeah, it very interesting, and you could also tell like there's 2 points I've seen where kind of the mask of Oswald Cobblepot has slipped away, and that's anytime he's killed somebody, and I mean, you can kind of see like there's no subterfuge or trickery in his eyes. And then when he's dealing with his mom, like the mask is off and he's just who he is, and he's completely open and honest about his plans and everything.
Right.
And I think that's really interesting to see. And I was very glad to hear in and we'll mention this in a few minutes, in an interview with Robin Lord Taylor, that she'll be here this whole season as his mom, so she'll keep coming back.
She's not, the creepiness isn't going anyway.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be super creepy.
I really liked, this has nothing to do with anything that's in the doc, the whole, and she ignores him. Mom. Oh, you come back. Like, I loved the fact that he knocks like a normal person and she ignores it. He bangs like a crazy person and yells mom, and she answers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed that.
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah, you missed one point here.
I told you I missed one point there.
That's totally fine.
So we'll skip to the
I
I
also liked Demon's Purse.
I wrote that somewhere.
Yeah, what was the exact line? I think I wrote it down.
I'm pretty sure I literally just wrote Demon's Purse.
By the way, the Golden Temple is open line also kind of put me in mind, and people will know this if they know Batman comics. Maxie is Zeus for some reason. So just keep that in mind.
Anyway, I'm like not even near my
I can't find Demon Purse.
Oh, Raymond Earl there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go back. Wayne
Holy Manor. Ghost on a bicycle.
Holy Ghost on a bicycle, ladies and gentlemen.
We did get our requisite 2 scenes in Wayne Manor this week, as we usually do.
There it is.
And I thought, you know, it seems like we get 2 types of scenes in Wayne Manor, and one of them is always Bruce getting a piece of the Batman puzzle. And I think this week, we kind of saw him get the idea of an animal as a totem, although he was like, the goat's not an appropriate totem. I forget he used the technical name for, or like the family or phyla or whatever of goat. But you know, he's obviously already thinking about things, and you know, if he sees a picture of the spirit of the goat, he's obviously, I'm gonna guess, take some inspiration from that cowl that the goat was wearing, because that was a completely Batman cowl.
Oh well, yeah, and even had the pointy ears.
Yeah, in fact, like in that big theater scene, which that theater was beautiful. You know, they were fighting in. But
I know, I was like, oh, pretty theater.
I was kind of thinking, oh, here's kind of a preview of what it might look like if we ever do get Batman on this show. You know, it kind of felt like that to me, like, you know, where like the goat would just randomly, oh, he's up there now, you know, stuff like that, which I thought was interesting. And I came up with an equation.
I liked your equation.
This is the equation in Bruce Wayne's head right now. I'm sure it'll get added to. But right now it's Balloon Man plus goat minus killing people equals Batman. And we'll keep updating that equation as
we go on.
Yeah. Nice. But right now that's the Batman equation. And what do you think that's so when Selena snuck in, which was a cool scene, She stole something off the desk, like a metal box. Did you have any insight?
I have
or
no
ideas?
idea. That was one of my things is what is she stealing? How did she know it was there? Because it was,
Mhm.
she obviously knew exactly where it was and what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Well,
No.
mhm.
Manor is okay. I have visuals. Manor is over here.
Uh-huh.
The wall to the manor is over here.
Yeah.
Like she can't. I mean, she's not like hanging. There's no way she's like hanging out on the house because like the manor feels like it's way outside the city. It's like it's the Hamptons versus in the city.
Well, we know she does have an interest in the boy.
The boy, right? We know that
too. So it could have been she was just coming over to stalk him, and it was a crime of opportunity, and she just happened to see like what looked like a very valuable metal box out on the desk that she could sell for food or whatever.
But she barely looked at it. She walked directly over to the desk and grabbed it and left. Personally, I'd have probably gone to the mantle, which probably has some more expensive, and she only grabbed
or the entrance to the bat cave. No,
right, exactly. Like she grabbed one thing. If you're going in to rob the boy, at least grab a couple.
Yeah, and it was like
eat for a week.
I felt like we had seen that box in an episode somewhere before or something, but I just couldn't
probably
place
just being on the desk.
Yeah, probably. But it should be interesting. I saw some people suggesting it might be maybe Bruce collected some of his mom's pearls that fell the night she was killed and put them in that box. But I think they were just thinking more of the first scene from Dark Knight Rises when Catwoman breaks into Wayne Manor and steals the pearls.
Oh,
so,
the exact same scene with a different person, but not.
Yeah, but definitely just something to keep in mind going forward. Will we see that metal box again? Who knows?
Will we? We'll see that box in like 2 weeks.
Probably.
Basically, it'll be their Thanksgiving feast.
Yeah.
Okay, so the final scene.
No, I thought it was awesome.
Harvey, you son of a bitch.
No, you
loved it.
Like the one problem I had with it is it felt like the last 5 shots were like, I don't know, like shot at different times or edited together weird or something. It just seemed like they came a little too quick, like boom, boom, boom.
No, see, I liked that. I thought it helped intensify the entire situation.
Yeah, it's something I'm more like that sort of editing is something I'm more used to seeing in a trailer or something like that versus in the actual episode. So,
but in this show, they've been playing with that.
Yeah,
they've been playing with a lot of different scenes have the different effects, like the strange runny thing with Jim in like the first episode that made me want to not watch for a moment. And then the one where Jim and Oswald in the alley, which actually was TJ's other episode, had really weird cinematography. Like they just keep playing with those different aspects, but only 1 or 2 scenes in each episode.
Yeah.
Which I feel is almost leading up to like a bigger episode of a lot of that. Like the mid-season and the season finale are going to be insane.
Yeah. I definitely I expected this Cobblepot reveal to be like the mid-season finale or something too.
Yeah, it feel like it came out of nowhere.
It completely shocked me that they did it this early. And I love Oswald's audacity to just walk right into the police department.
Hello everyone, how are you?
Well, he's probably assuming that's probably the best way to stay safe and get this information out there and get the ball rolling on everything he's trying to do,
Yeah.
Because if he walks into the police station, it's harder for I don't know, Falcone or Fish to assassinate him.
So
if he's in the police station,
maybe.
Sometimes a jail cell is the safest place you can be. Here, there were a couple of comments here in the chat. I figured I'd bring up real quick. Bobby Hawk said a couple things. He said, one, when he hears MCU, he immediately thinks Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is the abbreviation for the continuity of Marvel Comics movies. And he said it was also nice to see that Bullock is not a total ass. Not a total ass.
He's a partial ass, but not...
ass. And then Deborah Kerr also says, I like scenes with Oswald and his mom better than the scenes with Jim and Barbara.
I understand that, and I can see that, but it's still creepy.
Just a little bit creepy.
Creepy.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's see here.
Okay.
Out of 386 nights of Goat Watch, how many nights of Goat Watch?
Okay, well, let's take a pause on that real quick.
Okay.
Goat Watch. These newscasters, I just put it in.
Okay.
These newscasters are horrendous. It's worse than watching True Hollywood Story.
Well, see, like I said a couple weeks ago, I think it's definitely the joke. I think
it's
that's
the joke. I know
which
that's the joke.
I
They
loved
just
it.
drive me bonkers.
Okay,
so 386 nights of Goat Watch.
Goat Watch.
I'm gonna give it 325.
325. Why?
325 because I liked it.
Mhm.
Creeped out by Oswald's mom. There wasn't like any other villains,
Mhm.
which was weird to me. I feel
Yeah.
like because every other episode we've had like 17 villains,
Mhm.
whether they be big, they be small, they be everywhere.
They be villains.
They be villains. So yeah, there's that. What about you?
I'd go for probably 350 nights of Goat Watch.
Okay.
No, I really liked it. Again, one of the
I really liked it.
I thought it was really neat.
It was fun.
No, it was really cool to get the Bullock backstory.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed everything about that and kind of how he took control of the episode. I thought was really
Yeah.
neat. And like I said, it's always cool to get another piece of that Batman equation.
Yes.
And to kind of see the light bulb go off in Bruce's head as it happens too is pretty neat. I was just checking to see if anyone else had any arbitrary scales, but
Nah.
okay. Well, we have some news and some listener feedback here, but real
News!
quick, we'd like to thank Audible
That Audible.
for sponsoring this week's episode of Legends of Gotham.
Yes.
Now, if you're not familiar with what Audible is.
English.
Habla inglés. No, but if you're not familiar with what Audible is, it's a service. You sign up for a subscription, you get a credit a month, you can go and get any audiobook you want. And audiobooks, radio plays, they even have some premium podcasts, like all the Ricky Gervais podcasts are available on there.
There you go.
And they're offering you guys, the listeners of Legends of Gotham, a free 30-day trial to get a free audiobook and see how you like it. Now, we always like to recommend an audiobook for you guys to check out on Audible. Anne-Marie, what do you recommend this week?
All right. This week, I'm actually currently listening to Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. It is an Australian, it's actually a murder mystery. But it's underlying murder. I still have no idea who's dead. I know when they died, but I don't know who it is or why or anything, because it's this story of these school moms, basically. But at the end of each chapter, there's like not even a paragraph that jumps forward to the day of the murder or the murder investigation. So you get snippets that sort of go with that chapter, which is really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So you go, oh yeah, I could see her killing someone. Oh, I could see. Oh no, she's dead. But it's always somebody new. Everybody has a motive to kill somebody.
Excellent.
Which is cool.
Yeah, and that kind of ties in with the show.
It really does kind of. I realized as it put up, I was like, this actually kind of works.
Yeah, and mine ties in with the show too. I picked hypnotism and self-practice. Now, if you can't trust your current hypnotherapist because they're turning you into the spirit of the goat, here you can go and learn how to hypnotize yourself, so you don't have to worry about
your own spirit of the
killing young rich girls like Paris Hilton. Okay.
Oh, well, she'd have been strung up.
She would have, because she's the
firstborn.
Right? So, but Paris Hilton, you're safe.
You're safe.
Audible.com. We want to thank Audible for sponsoring this week's episode of Legends of Gotham. You got to go to audibletrial.com/Gotham to get your free 30-day trial, get a free credit, pick up an audiobook, listen to it while you're out running around. And again, that's audibletrial.com/Gotham for your free audiobook. And we want to thank Audible for sponsoring this week's episode.
Thank you so much, Audible. I love you.
And now, on to the news. News. Okay, and first up, and I hear this was adjusted up.
Was it this one?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
No, it was.
No, because I saw a tweet earlier today about it. But it was adjusted up. I didn't get the adjusted numbers, but this is the ratings for this week's episode as of this afternoon were 5.9 million, a 2.2 share, which had dipped to 10th, which was also a series low. Which this
series is only 7 episodes.
Yeah, and that's gonna keep happening until Sweeps Week or whatever. But like I said, it was adjusted up, so I think it probably ended up about what we got last week.
Hold on, I'm looking to see what was it.
Well, I was
2.2, 5.9.
5.9 million, 2.2 share.
That's the one I'm seeing, but mine's from yesterday. I can't find one from today.
Yeah, I saw a tweet earlier, but I can't.
Sorry, I'm like that. I'm like, I want to know the difference.
Okay, and next up, we'll go ahead and, as we do every week, we'll go ahead and watch through the promo, tell you what's happening, and then you can go click the link and watch it yourself at legendsofgotham.com in the show notes.
And share it on Facebook and Twitter. Sorry, I'm that person.
But this is for episode 7, Penguin's Umbrella.
I thought this was 7.
And Penguin's walking
down the street. Who is
he
leading?
I don't know, but yeah, he was walking down the street with people behind him. Looks like Fish and Falcone are going to be meeting up more, talking about Oswald.
Well, because he's like, why are you so concerned? And Jim with a giant scary gun from
like an
war.
automatic gun in front of the clock thing. And then
Jim.
Victor Zaz's
Zazus.
My greatest hope is that it's spelled like ZYXZZX or something like that. But my greatest hope in this episode that they'll say his name enough times that I'll finally remember how to pronounce it.
Not going to happen.
I have this problem with Darkseid too. Another DC comic character. It's a real problem. A real unfortunate problem. Okay, you have a news story here about
I have a news story.
A potential new show coming onto television.
Okay,
right?
Krypton show in development.
Krypton.
Yes, Krypton. Where do we know Krypton from?
No idea.
So Man of Steel writer David S. Goyer is reportedly attached to Krypton, a new series set in Superman's homeworld, according to Bleeding Cool. Goyer's work on Man of Steel could suggest the kind of Krypton we might see, very inspired by John Byrne's 1986 Man of Steel and the 15 or so years of comics that came after, with little to no tights-wearing Kryptonians and a sterile scientific culture.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited by this.
I'm sure you are, Mr. I have a Superman tattoo.
But I also, the reason I thought it was relevant, one, because it's a DC comic book series, and two, a lot of people are assuming that this project is being pushed forward because Gotham has done so well.
So like it went quick too.
And take it from someone, as much as I love Batman, I'm more of a Superman fan. And the world of Krypton is a very rich, wonderful place for really cool sci-fi stories. I'm really excited to see where they go with this series. I don't know if we'll be doing a podcast on it.
No.
But,
I'm good.
but it should be pretty interesting. I'm interested to see too, who the main characters are, what the caveat, all that kind of stuff. And just one other thing I wanted to point out, and again, you can get this link at legendsofgotham.com. Robin Lord Taylor, Monday night after the episode aired, he did a hangout with Mashable, a Google Hangout like we're doing right now.
Ooh, sorry.
What?
Bobby Hawk. I do not want a Krypton show.
Ooh.
Yes.
Controversial.
But he will not be your co-host. Sorry.
But they were recorded on a laptop mic where we have these nice professional mics. But
fancy.
No, it was a really good interview. He talked a lot about the Penguin character, the Oswald character, and he even talked about how he had a dream before he heard that his mom, that she was going to be playing his mom. And
cool.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. It's about half hour, probably the best interview I've seen with him so far.
Really?
Just because it was more informal and less fluffy and
I hate the fluff.
Like morning talk show kind of thing.
Right.
But okay, we have some listener feedback here. As always, we like for you to just pull out your cell phone after the episode.
You're not going to tell anybody to run and injure themselves?
No, why would I do that? In fact, I've heard of a lot of people injuring themselves trying to get their feedback to us for the episode. Don't do that. Just pull out your cell phone. It's free. And you can email us, legendsofgotham@gmail.com. You can tweet us at legendsofgotham. Our Facebook is facebook.com/legendsofgotham. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And we have a few voicemails here. The first one came in a little late for last week's episode, but it was good. So I figured we'd use it this week. This one comes from Pastor of the Batman.
Hey, Bill and Anne Marie. This is Pastor of the Batman. I just want to check in with you about episode 5, Viper. This might have already been discussed, but just in case, I think it's pretty important. Interestingly, I still have yet to hear on any podcast this important detail regarding Venom. Bill might like this, especially in light of his dislike of a certain villain. Everyone seems to be discussing ad nauseum about the connection between Venom and Bane. However, I think this is of much more import. Predating Bane's appearance, someone much more essential to the Batman mythos becomes addicted to Venom, namely Bruce Wayne. The story is originally told in the comic line, I think it's known as Legends of the Dark Knight, in the early 90s, and issues 16 through 20.
Funny you should mention that, because one of the reasons our podcast is called Legends of Gotham is because of that series. That's where we got the legends.
Originally appeared. It's now available as a collected edition, simply entitled Batman Venom. After Batman fails to rescue a kidnapped girl, his reacts to experiment with this substance called venom as a means of increasing the limits of his endurance and stamina. But he dangerously becomes addicted to it. In fact, it sounds so interesting, I'm going to try to pick up a copy of this. But anyway, just wanted to let you know, in case you had not discussed that, keep up the great work, love listening, and what a nice surprise that Anne-Marie was around this week. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you very much, Pastor the Batman. And yeah, I have read that story back in probably a couple years after it came out. I remember it being very, very good, though. I definitely, that's Batman Venom. I'd recommend anyone going to pick that up. Okay, next up we have a voicemail from Scotty. Take it away, Scotty.
Scotty.
Hi, this is Scotty from Georgia, and I just want to say the last night's Gotham episode was probably the best one thus far. It seems like it's starting to build on the storyline, and I just got to say that what's really making the whole show is obvious to everybody, the Penguin. And it seemed last night he's really stepping up, showing that he's going to really start trying to make some noise in Gotham and make his rise to the top. And then to that one powerful moment in the end when he walks in to the police station. Here is just in a bold statement, in my opinion. And without the Penguin, I don't know if the show would be near as good as it is. All right, peace out.
Thank you very much,
I
Scotty.
agree as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm really hoping, especially considering his name's in the title next week, Penguin's Umbrella, that it's going to be a very him-centric episode.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope. He is definitely like the breakout star of the series, though.
True story.
For sure. Okay, Woo. Take it away, Woo.
The Spirit of the Goat episode really reminded me of Frank Miller's run on Batman, just the whole idea of what was going on in the mid-'80s, and it really is reflected now that the not wealthy people in Gotham City look at the wealthy as a kind of cancer that needs to be cured or cut out. And I love that the villain really has not a justifiable reason to do what she did in this episode, but you understand her motives. I love Donald Logue's performance, bringing a new layer into the character of Harvey Bullock that we've never seen before. Love the focus on Nygma in the episode, and we get to see the little bitty bits of why he becomes kind of unhinged in the future. Loved Catgirl's performance, even though she didn't really have much to do, but the things that she did, I love that they used her dance background. I give this episode 5 question mark cups out of 6. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, thank you very much, Will.
That's one thing I love about the Catgirl, is that they really use her dance background. And, I kind of didn't obviously know anything about her beforehand.
Yeah.
But I recently started following her on the Instagrams.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, she was like huge, like dancing.
Oh,
like
really?
Huge. Her group, or one of her groups, was on that So You Think You Can Dance or something, and was like a finalist.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's that. So I'm kind of entertained by it.
Very cool. And we'll finish up with a couple quick notes here from some of our listeners. Usually after the episode's over, I tweet out, hey, what'd you think? From the @Legends of Gotham account. And we got a couple here. One from Sophia at Hoisting My Sail. She also is one of the runners of the Gotham Addicts account.
Yes.
Said that Harvey Bullock shook it up last night. And Front Row News said, wonderful episode. My opinion, I think Robin Lord Taylor, the Penguin, is on his way to an Emmy nomination.
I could see it.
That would be
because
good.
This character has so many different layers, and each one is executed phenomenally.
My one worry there is that Cable's kind of greedy with the Emmys a little bit, so who knows if they'll have much left for network.
Yeah, but this is, getting such praise. While I was trying to find the adjusted up ratings, came across Cancellation Bear, if you're familiar with them. And it basically said Gotham is the only Fox freshman show not getting cut.
Oh, that's cool.
one of them's already canceled. 2 of them are
Mhm.
inevitably going to be canceled. And Gotham has like 5 stars. It's not going anywhere. I think it said everything else on the network would have to fall before they could fall.
Nice.
So, or something along those. Okay. So Sarah said, I really enjoyed Nygma. Really like the actor who plays him. You know, like lateral. Bullock
Lateral.
Bullock backstory was nice too. He wasn't always a crooked cop, but once a Boy Scout too. Downside, I don't like Barbara. Apparently I'm alone in my principles. I don't like the way that Gordon and Barbara interact. Again, it's too dramatic, almost like a soap. It's hard to put into words, but separately they are fine, but together they just feel too stiff. That's because they're fighting. Maybe it's the way that they are being directed or their choice, but so far it's not working out for me. This has been my favorite episode so far. Oh, the scale. Out of 113 bloody goat pennies, I give it 95. Smiley face.
See, I almost went with the bloody goat pennies.
The bloody goat pennies.
And to wrap it up here, one more tweet from @German Kalua says that this is, I think, the second best episode so far. And Penguin and Bullock are the best characters. Barbara is weird.
I am alone in my principles.
You are alone in your principles with Barbara.
I love you, Barbara.
And like we said, just pull out your cell phone after you're done watching the episode next Monday night and email us legendsofgotham@gmail.com. Tweet us @legendsofgotham. The Facebook is facebook.com/legendsofgotham. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And we almost always play those because
we really try. As long as they're
we're
in
lazy
time,
and we don't like to talk, and we can just hit play and
right,
kick
because
back.
we hate talking. That's why we do
and
multiple
make faces
podcasts.
at the cameras.
No, I like to tap out the phone number.
That's fair. So, Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on the Twitters @AM DeSimone or under my blog Twitter @CCHCblog, crunchycrafty.com.
Cool. And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter @Bill Meeks. You can follow me on Google Plus, which is where we do these hangouts live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m., except when they're not on Wednesdays, which
like
is sometimes,
last week.
At google.com/+BillMeeks. And I guess, if you want to follow another project I do online, we also do a podcast about the show Once Upon a Time on ABC called Greetings from Storybrooke. And greetingsfromstorybrooke.com. And you can find show notes for this episode and all the episodes of this podcast at legendsofgotham.com.
True story.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you have that other project that you didn't talk about.
which other project?
Hey, you, what's up?
Oh, Hey You, What's Up? Yeah, we're on an off week for Hey You, What's Up.
Of course.
It'll be back next week. But it's a short form interview show twice a week, 12 minutes, and then I hang up on the guest. It's a lot of fun.
It's hilarious.
Okay, so I guess that about wraps it up.
Yep.
So
till
next
the
time, join us next time for more
Legends of Gotham. There we go.
That's it.
Finally.
Excellent.
Beer
Good.
me. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.